What's up, everybody? It's me, E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews. Avengers 4 is right around the corner, and I've got a feeling that something major is going to happen with Captain America. Will Captain America make the ultimate sacrifice and save the universe? After doing some research, I think I've collected enough evidence to suggest what's going to happen with Captain America in Avengers 4. Stay tuned.
If you haven't already, please go ahead and click on the subscribe button, and while you're at it, click on that little bell too.
It's no secret that Chris Evans has been voicing his desire to leave the role of Captain America for some time now. Avengers 4 is the last movie on Chris's contract, and while filming both films back to back, he had this to say in regards to his role as Captain America. You want to get off the train before they push you off. In other words, Evans doesn't have any immediate plans to return as Captain America, and he'd much rather leave while still on top. I know in the past he stated that he wants to get into directing and all of that, and all power to him. But man, you would think he could still at least stick to the role that has propelled him to higher fame than anything else he's ever done. It's not like other Marvel stars aren't able to get other jobs outside of the MCU while still playing their roles. Anyway, I'll come back to that later. So if Evans isn't going to renew his contract, then that means we're going to have to say goodbye to Captain America in some way, shape, or form. Now, if you happen to catch one of my previous theories and prediction videos, I did detail my theory suggesting that Captain America was going to make the ultimate sacrifice to save the entire universe. Now, as much as I would love for my theory to be true in terms of Cap sacrificing himself, I did a little bit more research, and I think I've got an even better idea of what's actually going to happen to Captain America in Avengers 4. So let's get to it. One thing that's almost common knowledge at this point is that some way, somehow, the Avengers are going to be doing some time traveling in order to defeat Thanos. Now, I'm not entirely sure how they're going to do that, but I did mention in my previous theories and prediction video that it would have something to do with Ant-Man and the quantum realm. Maybe Stark builds a time machine with Hank Pym's help or something. Whatever. Either way, they're doing some time traveling. While the Avengers do their time traveling, I'm pretty sure they'll defeat Thanos in some cool way. And as much as I'd like to believe that Cap is going to make some sort of heroic sacrifice, I honestly don't think Marvel has the guts to pull that off. I mean, we already had a bunch of deaths that are actually real after Thanos did his snap. However, my theory is that when it's all said and done, Cap is gonna choose to stay in the past. Now, why or how could I possibly think this could be the case? Let me share with you a couple of reasons why I do believe that this could be true. First, let's start off with the Russo brothers. The same directors of both Infinity War and Avengers 4 have also directed the last two Captain America movies. So they have a deep investment in the character of Captain America. Listen to what they had to say.
Now, for us, this was the challenge of telling the story, but also completing the personal journey that we started as storytellers in Winter Soldier. So the story that began in Winter Soldier and that ends in Avengers 4 there's a very personal arc there for us. I think you'll understand our point of view as filmmakers and who we are as people when you watch all four of those movies together.
So I took the Russo brothers for their word, and I went back and rewatched a couple of the movies, except for obviously Avengers 4 because that hasn't come out yet. But I do think I've seen enough to kind of make this make more sense. So if you followed Captain America's story in the MCU, then you'll notice there's one thing that's consistent with his story. Captain America is the man out of time. He's living in a world that's moved on without him. He barely catches jokes and references. He's seen his friends pass on, including the love of his life. And he's had an awkward kiss with the niece of the love of his life. So it would make sense that if the Avengers were time hopping, he would choose to go back home to his own time. I think this would make a lot of sense because Marvel still wants to have that emotional appeal in their movies. Chris Evans doesn't want to keep playing the role of Captain America, and the Russo brothers need an emotionally satisfying way to end the story of Captain America. While it would suck to keep Captain America in the past, at least he'd be with his friends and loved ones, and his story would be complete. Okay, now I know some of you out there are a little skeptical, and that's totally fine. You need more evidence, right? So let me run this by you. Remember Scarlet Witch in Avengers Age of Ultron? Keep in mind that Hydra created her powers through using the Mind Stone. With her Infinity Stone influence powers, she was able to make some of the Avengers see certain visions. Almost all of the Avengers' visions have actually come true in one way or another. All of Thor's visions did come true. Most of Asgard died and they're all in Valhalla. Then Tony Stark's vision of a defeat by the hands of an alien invasion also came true by the snap of a finger. And if you recall, Captain America's vision was to be back in his own time. You know, in time for that dance with Peggy Carter. Even though I think it would be entirely selfish, seeing as though Peggy did move on, have an entire family of her own, and now Rogers would only be coming into the picture to start blocking big time. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, another reason why I think Cap will end up left in time is because it'll leave the door open for the new characters and Avengers to shine. Not to mention, I'm willing to bet that Cap is going to pass on the mantle of Captain America over to Falcon instead of Bucky. The only reason I'm suspecting this is because Marvel doubled down on the whole Bucky being the White Wolf thing. So Bucky will probably have more of a connection in a future Black Panther movie, while Falcon will finally don the Captain America title as he did in the comics. Now, my last reason as to why I think dropping Cap off in the past works for the MCU is that it actually leaves the door open for Chris Evans to return in the future. Think about this. Captain America doesn't really age, right? His super serum makes him age really slowly. I think it would be really cool if he went back to the 1940s, lived his life with Peggy Carter, and maybe even stopped crime here or there while keeping a low profile. But here's the kicker. If Evans ever decides to come back as Captain America, he'll obviously be a little bit older, but it'll make total sense for Cap to look a little older in the MCU because technically he'd be alive for almost 100 years, even though Chris Evans would be either in his 40s or 50s. So I think it's a win-win situation. If Evans doesn't find success outside of the MCU, there's a wide open door for him to reprise his role as Captain America in the future. Alright, that's what I think is gonna happen to Captain America in Avengers 4. As with anything, I could be completely wrong about all of this. Marvel could pull some crazy situation out of their sleeves and just blow us all out of the water with it. I personally still hope Cap makes some sort of super heroic sacrifice leading to an epic and emotional funeral. You know, like Death of Superman level. But like I said before, I don't think Marvel has the guts to rip people's heart out once again. But what do you think his fate will be? Is Cap gonna make it out alive or not in Avengers 4? Let me know your own thoughts in the comments down below. And if you have your own theories, I'd love to hear those too. Well, that's all I got for today. Stay tuned for my next video coming up soon. In that video, I'm gonna explore the question, how can we recast Tony Stark if Robert Downey Jr. leaves the MCU? I think that'll be an interesting topic, and I can't wait to see what you all think about it. Thank you so much for joining me and taking the time to watch this video. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I've got a couple more reviews and videos coming up that I think you guys are all gonna enjoy. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.